I want to keep everything upbeat. I want to keep everything fun. It's hard to have you on here and not talk about Owen Hart. I don't
Mhm.
want you to relive the whole night and anything. You were the referee of the match that Owen
Mhm.
fell. Any
Yes.
Owen Hart? You want to just celebrate Owen? You want to talk any good Owen Hart stories? I had the privilege of working with Owen
Mm.
before. Any Owen
Oh,
Hart stories you want to share?
oh, Owen is fantastic. I mean, he was a guy that no matter how bad a day you were having, matter how rough a tour was or anything like that, when he walked in the locker room, he lifted everybody up. He made everybody smile. That's the type of person he was. And he's always been famous for being the greatest ribber of all time because when he ribbed somebody, it was never harmful, it was never malicious, it was always in good fun. And even when you got ribbed, you laughed.
Right.
You were the one laughing. And it was almost like a badge of honor to get ribbed by Owen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The greatest rib, I think, this is in my opinion, that he ever pulled was years ago. Hunter and Henry Godwin had that hog pen match.
Right.
And earlier in the day, the truck came to deliver the hogs. And he just happened to be by the loading dock area. And the guy gets out of the truck and says, "Excuse me, does anybody know where they want the pigs, where they want to load them?" And Owen says, "Yes, yes, follow me. I'll take you right there." So he follows them all. He takes them all. Of course, everybody's in the production meeting now. So they're all locked up in there. He opens the door. He puts all the hogs in Vince's office. And they production meeting's over. Here comes Vince. He opens the door. He walks in. 2 seconds later, he runs out the door. Right away, he knew. He said, "Oh, well." He knew who it was right away. It was amazing. And like I said, if you got ribbed, one of the funniest things I remember is there was a young wrestler from Montreal. His name is Carl Leduc. Now we're friends, but back then that was the first time I'd ever met him. He was having a match with Justin Hawk Bradshaw
Sure.
at the time, and him being from Montreal, they said, "Is it possible we can put the young fellow, the hometown kid, over? These little Duke family legacy, the blah blah." Blah. They said, and John was like, "Yeah, absolutely, sure." So John says to him, "What's your finish?" And the kid says, "I don't have one." He says, "You don't?" He says, "Okay, then you know what? When time comes, I'll tell you to small package me. You small package me. That'll be the finish." I was refing the match too, which is crazy. And he says, "Well, I don't know how to do that." He says, "What do you mean you don't know how to do it? You don't know how to do a small package?" He says, "No, I don't." He says, "Jimmy, small package me." And I'm like, "What?" We're in the locker room. He says, "Small package me right here." So I small package Bradshaw in the locker room. And he says, "You see what he's doing? You see how he's hooking my legs and my head?" And he goes, "Okay, I think I know." Get out to the ring. John shoots him off the rope. He couldn't run the ropes. It
Wow.
was like he would like run, kind of stop, turn around, lean, and lean back. Anyways, the next day we're in Ottawa. So because John was, yeah, John can be John.
Right.
So they put Carl with Owen the next day and said, because they figure Owen will take care of this kid. So George the Animal Steel was the agent. And he says, "Okay, Owen, we're going to have you work with this kid. He's very green. He's very green. Whatever you do, don't let him run the ropes because it's horrendous." Owen, okay, gotcha. You know what's going to happen. As soon
Right.
as you tell him that, it's a house show. There's no cameras there. As soon as they lock up, Owen grabs a headlock and says, "Shoot me off crisscross." It was like it was just like, oh my goodness. Uh, and somewhere in the match, he untied my shoelace. I don't know how he did it to this day because he'd sit there in a rear chin lock and he'd go, "Jimmy, your shoe's untied." And I'm like, "What? I ca No way. It didn't do it on its own. There's no way."
That's great. Where can people find you, Jimmy?
Well, you can find me on, of course, social media. I still call it Twitter at Jimmy Korderas, on Instagram at Real Jimmy Korderas. I do a podcast weekly with some other referees and former referees, Brian Hebner and Daniel Spencer, who's currently the head referee at TNA, called Reffing It Up. And I got to give a shout out to RJ, who's our producer, because if it wasn't for him, we'd be clueless. But anyways, what could we do? We only know how to count to three. And also here in Canada, I do a radio show on TSN Radio and iHeartRadio with Donnie De Silva, who's a well-known wrestling personality here in Canada called Huge Pop Radio. And, we do a weekly radio show. It's an hour long on linear radio, but the website, hugepopradio.com, you can catch the full version because we do interviews with current and past superstars. And you can only play, because it is radio, you can only play like a 12-minute clip from it. And a lot of times these interviews will be an hour and a bit. And wrote a book a little while back called The Three Count: My Life in Stripes as a WWE referee. I think it's still available out there on Amazon or wherever you find books. And